I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. '22 Ford Maverick
XLT without launch control.
front wheel drive.
Pretty good once you're going.
Horsepower and torque.
191 horsepower, 155 pound-feet of torque from a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder hybrid.
With a CVT.
Yeah, front wheel drive. I think this is going to be their volume seller, so that's why we wanted to review this, because we've already reviewed the Maverick with the turbo.
And all-wheel drive.
That's right.
And a normal transmission.
Yeah, so this thing's definitely cool. I'm shocked by how much I like this hybrid CVT thing.
But the first thing I noticed in the hybrid CVT version is that your brake pedal has a little bit of hybridliness to it.
Yeah.
And it's a little awkward. Like, you'll get used to it, obviously, whatever. But I generally do not like that part of this.
And I totally agree with you. The first couple times that you drive this, probably for the first week that you drive this, your face just goes into the steering wheel because you're not used to the brakes.
And the CVT, don't really mind, because this is a small little putt-putt truck, and sport mode traction off through cliche corner.
Understeer you?
A little bit, yeah. But you can get it to like kind of like recover and snap back around.
Lift off oversteer there.
It's definitely nothing to drive funnily with.
No, don't expect fun out of this. Expect utility.
But how about snow? It's front wheel drive. If you get stuck, you can't do stuff like a truck. You can't do donuts with rear wheel drive like an old Ranger.
No, even though this is a 4x2, which I think should be called a 2x4 now because it's 2 in the front, you're not getting anything out of the back. So I don't know, I haven't been stuck in this. I've driven this off-road on some actual snow, but not like serious stuff, because I'm genuinely nervous about getting stuck because this is front wheel drive. When you're driving this, you have to think that you're driving a crossover.
Yeah, this is just like a Honda Civic with a truck back to me.
You'd probably get less stuck in a Civic regardless of the ground clearance stuff because there's more weight. I don't know, yeah.
So who's this for? I guess it's like hobby truck stuff, but not serious truck stuff. Like if you want to go mountain biking, but the road to mountain biking is all paved.
That, and it's also for people that are buying their first non-car. Like someone that's cross-shopping this with a Civic potentially because it's the same price.
And I guess because Ford stopped making passenger vehicles besides the Mustang, this is like, they're like, you're gonna buy trucks anyways, here's the truck car, leave me alone.
You know what Ford also stopped doing recently on this vehicle specifically?
Selling it?
Yeah, so apparently Ford stopped taking all orders for this car because this Maverick Hybrid is so popular that they can't keep up with demand.
For this year?
Yes, for this year. So no more orders from Ford for this year. So you know where you have to go to buy one of these now?
tsp.truecar.com to see dealer listings of vehicles in stock.
Discounted price offers. So I actually looked up, the Maverick has an average markup of 10.5% in the United States, but most of the sales on TrueCar have been between 5% below MSRP to 1% above. So there you go.
So if you want to get this, your only chance really is tsp.truecar.com.
It's a pretty good plug, TrueCar.
Pretty good site. But from what I've seen so far, I would personally, if I had to get this, pay a little bit more for the different engine, different transmission, and different braking system. I value that more than the better fuel economy that this gets for being a hybrid.
See, and I think I love this one more than the EcoBoost, yes, being front-wheel drive CVT, but I think the money that you're saving with gas, because I've been getting 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers, and in miles per gallon, that's pretty respectable as well. I think this is really good. Also, we're in winter, so these are the worst conditions for gas mileage. And I also don't find this to be much slower than the EcoBoost, other than from a launch. Hope you're enjoying the Ford Maverick video that you're watching right now, but we are currently in the Subaru Forester Wilderness Edition. This is gonna be Sunday's video, so definitely subscribe, or just come back tomorrow so that you don't miss this video.
So now for some things I don't like about this car. Let's see if I can do this.
Did you just shut the car off with the key in neutral while we're driving?
I wanted to pull it out.
You still have power steering?
This has a physical key, which sucks, but what's cool is that you can remote start it from that physical key.
Yeah, so this has the remote start option. You don't get it on the base. This is the XLT with a couple little option packages.
And you can set up how your remote start works through your gauge cluster so that it can either heat the car or cool the car. Because some people in the comments last video were like, why would you want remote start? In winter, if it's cold, you want to preheat your car so when you get in, it's not freezing. I guess in Arizona, you might want to pre-air condition it.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing I don't like about this car We don't have Sirius XM satellite radio,
No, we don't.
which kind of sucks.
Yeah, so you got to listen to all your music through Apple CarPlay or listen through FM radio, but nobody really does that.
I mean, I like FM radio. On my Honda Element, like I love going into that and the Prowler and just having like FM radio station. It's like a different experience.
Okay, yeah.
I just need a car with a cassette player that works and just get a bunch of sweet cassettes for that.
Imagine if they had a cassette player in this like useless kind of cubbyhole thing.
This doesn't have good lane keep. It's got lane departure assist.
Yeah, so we have the Ford Copilot 360, which is what I believe they brand their good stuff as, but this isn't the good stuff.
Yeah, but don't fully expect that in such a lower trim model.
Yep.
And then the next thing, we've got our digital gauge cluster in the middle so I can see my speedo, but if I have my digital speedo up, I can't see the other stuff. Like I can't see my brake coach and I can't see other options, which kind of sucks. I feel like they could have just added more to that screen.
I agree, like there's so much unused space on that screen.
But it is simple, and this is a simple truck, so that's fine. And the last thing that I don't really like about this truck is our back seat. It's not a split fold to lift it up. So if we did have our baby seats back there, which, you know, we need to use all the time, we couldn't use that compartment underneath there without taking the baby seat out. But those are pretty easy at like baby age. There's like 2 clips you pop in and out.
And it's fairly tight with the baby seat back there.
And I think with all those things, that's pretty much all the stuff I really don't like about this car.
It's pretty good.
Truck. It's kind of a car.
It's kind of a car.
Time to get you in the driver's seat for some more launch control and sick off-roading.
There's no off-roading. But there's things that I don't like, but there's things that I love about it though. No launch control, normal mode, just how I've been driving this.
Traction clicked in quick.
Yep.
Does it stay pinged?
Oh yeah, this won't go away. CVT,
No fake gears.
song of its people.
But no tax, so you can't see that it's doing. You got to listen for it.
Right, exactly. But this does pick up really well. The hybrid kind of makes it feel like a turbo. Like if I was to floor it while I'm driving right now, lag, 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 and then it feels like we're getting boost.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Like this powertrain has surprised me so much on how much I like it. This is why I would recommend this one over the EcoBoost. Now it does kind of suck that you can't get this engine with all-wheel drive. You have to get front-wheel drive. So in my head, I'm always nervous about going off-road or something like that, getting stuck, because although I'm in a truck visually, when I'm driving this, I'm in a crossover.
Yeah, you got to think in your head Honda Civic. And I've wanted to test with you for a while. I think a Honda Civic can do most of the off-road course at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Or any small car like that.
I want to bring a Civic and take it against
I would love to.
like maybe an all-wheel drive Maverick.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Shotgun Civic, manual.
So let's get into a couple of things that I don't like. Number one, I don't like that the volume takes over the entire screen when you're using it in CarPlay and stuff like that, which also transfers to the fan speed and the climate control button.
But I get the climate control button because it makes it a lot less distracting looking at this screen than looking all the way down at this digital display that can get blocked out with sun shining on it.
I haven't had it blocked out at all, and I've been driving this for a couple days, so no issues for me. But one thing that I really don't like is, for some reason in this one with Apple CarPlay, I've been getting this thing that comes down from the top of the screen saying some of the functions have been disabled every time I come to a stop, and then I start going again. I'm like, I haven't seen this in any other car. I checked through the settings, can't disable it. It's really annoying.
That's a deal breaker for me, dog.
It's really annoying. The next thing I don't like about this is the ride quality. I don't find it to be the best. I'm not expecting the best. It's not jarring, but you notice every imperfection in the road. And we're also driving a Subaru Wilderness. You don't notice those same imperfections.
Yeah, this is like...
It's bouncy.
It's true to being an old, cheap truck.
Right, exactly. And I don't recall that in the turbo all-wheel drive one that we drove, so maybe it's a hybrid thing due to the weight.
Also, part of the hybrid-y thing, the battery takes up some of the space under the back seat compared to the non-hybrid one.
Right, exactly. And then the next thing that I also don't like is when you're going fairly slow, like let's say you're in a parking lot or something like that, it's really loud. You normally don't hear that. You could probably hear it right now.
Well, it transitions to that noise once you go below 40. It's the outside warning, I'm in EV mode warning sound.
Right, and in most hybrid cars, you don't hear that from the inside. You hear that from the outside.
But we're not listening to music and our fan speed is off.
Exactly.
Once you got that cranked, it kind of fades away.
Real world scenario, you don't really hear that, but since we're reviewing this, I did notice it.
But when you're going backwards, that noise gives you a beep, beep, beep as well.
Yes, a very faint one.
Are you mad that when you turn traction off, you can't fully defeat traction ever? It'll always click, 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 click.
Don't care. It's front wheel drive, like CVT car. Why would I care about something like that? You can't do burnouts. You can't do anything fun.
Yeah, but if you turn traction all the way off.
Okay, let's see. Cliche corner. And I'm still in normal mode with traction on just because you're going to drive this truck like that. Understeer, cut the power. Not a handling type truck. But through there, it's not like it's body rolling much. It's definitely more crossover than it is truck.
Yeah, it drives nice. And the way the traction control system comes in and cuts up power, it makes it safe. So if somebody who was like reckless driving this, one of your employees, if you had a small business with a bunch of these trucks and they were going through Cliche Corner every day and they were a little reckless, it would reel them in unless they turn traction off and then they'd plow out.
And you can't fully defeat traction. You just have this one button which looks like a tire doing a burnout, which this definitely does front wheel drive burnouts. And that's pretty much all the things that I don't actually like about this truck. Everything else I really like about it.
Okay, next to that traction control off button, we've got our sport modes. What is it? Not sport, drive modes.
Yeah, so the actual logo for that is pretty funny. So we do have normal, tow haul, slippery, eco, and sport.
Yo, what is this tow?
2,000 pounds, which is approximately 2 jet skis worth, which is pretty damn good. And the payload is also 1,500 pounds, which is really impressive for a truck like this.
Good segue. We should talk about the truck bed now and all the cool stuff it does there.
4.5 foot bed. You can put 2x4s, 2x6s. You can make your own platforms there. It's not the biggest bed, but it is definitely functional.
Yeah, they got a lot of gimmicks that they show you on the Ford website and stuff where you can build stuff with your own 2x4s.
Well, they have that QR code that you can scan.
And then you got those little 12-volt pigtail things so you can customize stuff. I would have a lot of fun like with that. If I was still flying drones and racing FPV drones, I'd probably like build in a charger to the car.
Well, speaking of customizations, I think we're done with the truck bed now because that's pretty much all there is to it.
No.
Okay.
So the tailgate isn't damped.
No, it's not.
But you can set it in a different position where it's on an angle. So if you have like 2x4s or something, you can angle them up so they don't slide out the back as easy. But to do that, you have to disconnect it with this little like safety release clip and attach it to the higher part. And it all like seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, and you could put plywood and drywall and whatever. Use this for real truck stuff, I guess.
I don't know. I'm not a real truckster.
Oh, I am. I got a Raptor. Okay, had to mention it. Let's talk about some cool stuff on the inside, starting with the Ford Fits system. So that is a thing that they let you 3D print your own stuff. So I have taken it upon myself to 3D print a cup holder. However, when we first reviewed the Maverick, Ford said that they were going to release the template for this thing to actually enable you to make your own 3D printed stuff. Now I reached out to Ford. They said they still don't have it. So they basically just told me to get the unofficial one, which I already found. Now, luckily, there's the Ford Maverick Truck Forum. Someone there decided to make their own, and it actually fits perfectly. So I took that, adapted that design, made my own little cup holder, and fit it back here, and it does fit a small cup of Tim Hortons coffee, and I verified that.
Yeah, the front fits it too. It's really nice. We've got an armrest back there in the middle that also has 2 cup holders.
Yo, but like Ford, own up to your promise, release the official one, even though this one works. It's probably some kind of legal thing.
Yeah.
But like, come on.
I'm thinking like you could like 3D print something like really stupid that's a straight up accident hazard, and then they're going to be liable, and their legal team hasn't figured it out yet.
I could 3D print a fork. And then, you know,
it could be like a 4-foot fork that's like in the wrong place.
Yeah.
But what if that 3D printed fork that was like 3 feet long was meant to hold snacks so you could eat with hands free in the back seat?
Damn, bro.
Somebody 3D print that for me. Jacob's 3D print is not long enough.
Yeah, I would have to do like multiple.
We'd have to have a clicker, something that clicks them.
Yeah, I could do it. It's not worth the 60 hours it'll take me to design that.
It's a challenge. So then looks-wise, this one is blackish blue. There's a little bit of blue. You can see sparkle in some lights, but generally it just looks black.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it looks all right. Definitely blends in.
I like the yellow version more.
You can get that on this trim, which is nice.
Probably get this in white work truck style.
Also, it's called Orangery.
You get this with the Steelies,
no, wait,
right, too?
It's called Cyber Orange. Yeah, it's Cyber Orange.
You get this with Steelies too, though, right?
Yeah, but not the XLT. You have to get the XL.
Yeah, or you can just buy the wheels separately.
I mean, Steelies are dirt cheap, yeah.
I know, I think it looks pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's definitely grown on me. I do like that the amber lights at the front, you don't really see them from the side angles. You kind of only see them from directly in front.
Yeah, it's a cool little truck. I don't have much to add from the last video about the looks.
No, I mean, the wheels look nice.
Yeah.
Surprisingly nice. And what would be the Continental recommended tire for a front-wheel drive Maverick?
It would actually be the Viking Contact 7 in the winter or the Cross Contact LX25 throughout the rest of the year.
And do you love that we've got that keypad on the door?
Yeah, that's my jam.
But no sunroof.
No, budget truck.
I like sunroofs. Yo, visors.
Let's find out.
3, 2, 1.
Full pass. They printed on the visor.
And before we talk about the interior materials, looks-wise compared to the Santa Cruz.
it's not as cool looking.
I still like the Santa Cruz more looks-wise, and I like the functionality of that built-in tonneau cover more too on that.
Yeah, this just feels and looks more trucky,
It's
even
more-
though it's car-y.
And it's more budget.
Yes,
Um,
less budget.
No, it's more budget.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Like if something
it's
is
more budget, but you need less budget to use more budget.
if something is budget, it's less expensive.
Yes. And in this interior, we have a bunch of hard buttons. You can use everything with your gloves on. Very, very functional.
Yeah, and then our materials are really cool. We got some orange trim, we got some navy blue, we've got this
Recycled dry carbon or whatever it is.
inside of a porta potty material.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
Seats look cool. Armrest seems to work all right.
Seats are very comfortable. Driving position's great.
USB, USB-C, all these cubbies for your phone and stuff down at the bottom work really well.
There's just not much room in the back for someone of my stature, especially in the winter wearing a winter jacket. But if you're shorter than 6'1.5", it's totally fine.
You fit behind me and I fit behind you absolutely fine.
One thing that I forgot that is a dislike, especially in the winter, this does not have a rear defrost. So when I went through the car wash this morning, I couldn't defrost the rear window, which was totally frozen up instantly.
Oh,
Because it was minus 20 or 25 when we were filming.
that sucks.
Yeah. And then it's a manual window thing back there too.
Cool. And I guess that's about it.
That's about it, Yuri.
Let's get to the price.
This is actually an American vehicle, as you can tell by our Michigan manufacturer plate. So this one is $27,340
US or Canadian?
US.
US.
And this one is exactly $35,345 Canadian.
35,000 Canadian. That's approaching Santa Cruz territory.
Yeah, but not quite, and you still get better fuel economy.
So I guess if you're looking to get one and you can't, hit up tsp.truecar.com because that's probably the best place to find these.
They have them in stock and discounted price offers. Link below.